right, today we start our final project, and it's not a final exam, it is a final project. We go back and review things that we did before earlier in the semester, and today it's going to be about using Google Docs, and it's going to be about creating a table. And I'm not going to do the whole thing right in front of you here, but I am going to show you a little bit about getting started and an example of one that's done so that you know where you're headed. You'll start a new Google Doc. You'll give that doc a name in the top left. This is going to be the idea that we're going to work with is a work schedule for a business. You'll have the name of the company or the name of the business at the top, and then what kind of business it is. And then you will have like a subtitle that says something like weekly schedule or work schedule. You're going to create a 6x6 table. This is all on what I'm telling you here is all on the requirements, and I'm going to show you what one looks like here in a minute and do part of it. I'm not going to do all of it. You'll create a 6x6 table. You have to set it up for 5 days of the week, and I'm thinking Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I guess you could say that the business is closed on Sunday and Monday and be open on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday if you wanted to. That would be okay. 5 days of the week, 5 employees, 5 workers. They have to put names in and then fill in the hours that they work, and you'll make that up. You have to format the table to make it look good. Do that by changing fonts, using alignment, using text color, using fill color, using border weight and border color, whatever you want to use to make it look good. And make sure the name of the document, I think I have that up there at step number 2. I have it in there twice. Change the name of the document up in the top left-hand corner, and then turn it in, submit it. Let's go over to here. So you'll start off by making a new Google Doc, and you could do that from your Google Drive, or if you know another way to do a Google Doc, you need a blank Google Doc. So do it however you typically do it. I'm going to do it from my Google Drive, and I'll just click new. I'll click up here on the new button, and I'll go to Google Docs, and I'll go to blank document, and that gets me started. Up here on the top left, this is where you come up here and change it. I might call it final part 1 table, something like that. We need the name of the company at the top of the page. If I say it's Kenny's Garage, I made that up. Let's get in there and do some things. That has to be centered. That's a requirement. It has to be fairly big. So make it fairly big. And gosh, get in there and change the font. It's not gonna. Some of you, some of you act like it would like break your arm to change a font, and it won't. It's not that hard. So change a font. Get in there and play with it a little bit. Yeah, it might be a little big. I might take that down to like 36. And if you want to change the font color, do that. Work to make it look the way you want. Right below that, what kind of business is it? Auto repair. And that can be a little smaller than the name of the company. Might take that down to like 14. And then we're going to make a weekly work schedule. So this is how it all starts off. You got the name of the company. What kind of company is it? And we're making a weekly work schedule. I'm going to press enter there. Now it's time for the table. Insert table, and we need 6x6. That makes it kind of easy because you don't have to worry about which one's which. It's going to be a 6x6 table. Bingo. Right now, what we do is we go to work on like up here on the top row, and maybe this would be a good time to change, fonts and colors again if you want to. I mean, do what you want, but to get it set up, this would be like Monday, Tuesday. I'm not sure why my font didn't stay the way it was. Let me back that up. Well, I didn't want that. Monday. That's interesting. I got it behaving now. It was just being ornery a little bit. I'm just going to show you how to set this up. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. You could abbreviate these if you wanted to. Friday. Over here, you need, and again, I'm going to have to change my font back. I think it's because when I created my table, I had certain things set. And so now it's kind of what I'll do here is I'll select the whole table and tell it that I want that font and I want it black, and that's going to work. So this is where you need names, and make it, like I said, make them up. Bob, Jim, Kenny has to work. It's his garage. Bob, Jim, Tim, Kenny, Fred, not Freed. Center these. Do what you want with these. Now the rest of it, and this is where I'm not going to do all this, you have to plug in when do they have to work. All right, does Bob work from 8 o'clock to 4 o'clock on Monday? Yeah, and so you'll give, and if you want to give Bob a day off, maybe a Wednesday is Bob's day off. So you plug in their work hours and their days off, and work out a work schedule for everybody. The 5 people that you pick out, you have to have 5 people. You have 5 days of the week. You put in their work hours. And then the other thing you got to do is just kind of dress it up a little bit. You've got to make it look halfway decent, which you can do a lot of ways. That gets into the fonts and the centering, and you can take things and apply a fill color, right? If you want to give it some color, you can apply a fill color to different rows. I'm just showing you a quick example here, right? You can give it fill color. And now I'm going to switch over here and show you one that's done. All right, this one is one that it's an example of one that is all done, completely done. So here I've got this is the business, and I made this up, obviously. Guardians of the Galaxy is the business. What do? They are Galaxy Security, and this is their weekly work schedule right here. I've got my 6x6 table showing Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Here are the 5 workers: Star-Lord, Rocket, Drax, Gamora, and Groot. And here you have their work hours that are all plugged into the table. The table has been formatted. I used some alternating black and white and gray in there. Got my fonts all set up the way I want. Everything is looking good. And so when you get all the way done, you want to make sure that you come up here in the top left. This one you can see up here is called Final Table Demo, but you would just call it, table, final table, something like that. Give it a name. And then what you would have to do is just make sure you get back to Google Classroom and turn it in. On this final project, there are going to be 4 parts to it, and each part is going to be worth 50 points, and they're all going to be added up together into one assignment when they all get turned in. So you want to kind of be sure that you're scoring the 50 points all the way along, and that way you'll wind up with a 200 out of 200 when this whole thing is done. Well, that's part 1. It's a Google Doc with a table, a 6x6 table. Name of the business, what kind of business, weekly work schedule. Get it all laid out and in there. Turn it in when you're finished.